Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss principal stresses in soil from the chapter shear strength. In previous video we have already discussed what are principal planes, what are principal stresses. Now in this video we are going to discuss them in detail. So for that let us consider a prism of soil. The third direction of the prism is considered as having one unit length, so only two-dimensional view is considered. This prism A, B, C, D is subjected to vertical compressive load of V and horizontal compressive load H. So the stress along the surface AB will be stress along the surface DC, which is equal to V upon area along the AB. Similarly, stress acting along the surface AD will be equal to stress along the BC, which is equal to H upon area along the BC or area along the AD. Now, on all four planes, only vertical or normal stresses are acting and there is no shear stress. So, all these planes like plane AB, BC, CD and DA can be considered as principal planes. And these stresses which are acting are called as principal stresses. Now, suppose value of V is greater than value of H. Then sigma AC and sigma DC will be larger than sigma AD and BC. So these are called as major principal stress and the plane AB and DC will be called as major principal plane. Major plane. And sigma AD and sigma BC are comparatively smaller. That's why they will be called as minor principal stresses and these planes will be called as minor principal plane, minor principal plane. Now let us consider a surface AE which is inclined at an angle theta. So we want to find the stresses acting on this plane AE. So let me draw the enlarged view of this surface. This is surface AE which is inclined at an angle theta to the surface AB. So this is vertical load acting on the surface AB and this is the horizontal load acting on the surface AD. So these two forces will act on AE also. So this vertical force acting on the AE can be resolved in two components. That is the component which is normal to the surface AE and the component which is along to the surface AE. So this normal component will be called as normal stress and this along the tangential component of V will be called as shear stress. Also, this horizontal component can also be resolved into two components, that is normal component and tangential component. So since there is tangential force acting on the surface AE cannot be considered as principal plane and these stresses cannot be considered as principal stresses. So if we want to find the stress acting on the surface AE, we cannot use directly load upon area formula. because there are multiple stresses acting on this surface. So this formula cannot be applicable. We will have to derive different formula. So this formula we are going to discuss in this video. For that, let us assume a prism which is subjected to major principal stress sigma 1 and minor principal stress sigma 3. Let AC be the surface which is parallel to the major principal plane. Let us assume a surface AB which is inclined at an angle theta with the major principal plane. So since AB is not the principal plane, there will be shear stress acting on the plane and there will be a normal stress as a resultant of these all forces. So we are supposed to find the value of this shear stress and normal stress on the surface AB, as we already know the value of sigma 1 and sigma 3. R is the resultant of normal stress sigma and shear stress tau, which is inclined at an angle beta to the normal stress sigma. So let me draw this prism ABC on a larger scale. This is B, C, A. This is minor principal stress. This is major principal stress sigma 3. This is shear stress on AB. This is normal stress on AB. This is angle of inclination theta. Since surface AB is inclined at an angle theta with the horizontal, the normal stress sigma can be resolved into two components. First is horizontal component and second is vertical component. So horizontal component will be sigma sine theta and vertical component will be sigma cos theta. Similarly, shear stress also can be resolved into two components. First is tau cos theta and second is tau sin theta. Now, by resolving the forces acting on the wedge ABC, we will get resolving forces on ABC in horizontal direction. We will get sigma 3 into BC equal to sigma AB sin theta minus tau AB cos theta. These two forces are acting in opposite direction. That's why they are getting deducted. So here sigma is the normal stress on AB and tau is the shear stress on AB, as I have already said. Now dividing this equation by AB, we will get AB will get cancelled. So we will get sigma 3 into BC by AB equal to sigma sin theta minus tau cos theta. So we can write BC upon AB. BC upon AB as sin theta. So the equation will be sigma 3 sin theta equal to sigma sin theta minus tau cos theta. This will be our first equation. Similarly, if we resolve the forces acting on the wedge in vertical direction, we will get sigma 1 into AC equal to sigma AB cos theta plus tau AB sin theta. So if we divide the equation by AB, these two will get cancelled and the equation will become sigma 1 into AC divided by AB equal to sigma cos theta minus tau sin theta. This AC upon AB can be written as cos theta. So our equation will be sigma 1 cos theta equal to sigma cos theta plus tau sin theta. So this will be our equation number 2. Now we have equation number 1, sigma 3 sin theta equal to sigma sin theta minus tau cos theta, and equation number 2 as sigma 1 cos theta equal to sigma cos theta plus tau sin theta. So let us multiply equation number 2 by sin theta. So it gives value sigma 1 cos theta sin theta equal to sigma cos theta sin theta plus tau sin square theta. Again, if we multiply equation 1 by cos theta, equation 1 into cos theta gives sigma 3 sin theta cos theta equal to sigma cos theta sin theta minus tau cos square theta. So if we deduct these two equations, we will get sigma 1 minus sigma 3 into sin theta cos theta equal to, these two terms will get cancelled, tau into sin square theta plus cos square theta. Minus and minus sign will become a plus sign. So sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1. So sigma 1 minus sigma 3 into sin theta cos theta will be equal to tau. So the equation 1 into cos theta minus equation 2 into sin theta gives sigma 1 minus sigma 3 sin theta cos theta equal to tau. We can write sin theta cos theta as sin 2 theta divided by 2. So our equation becomes tau equal to half of sigma 1 minus sigma 3 into sin 2 theta. So this is the equation to determine the shear stress on a plane which is inclined at an angle theta with the principal plane, and sigma 1 and sigma 3 are the principal stresses. Now substituting the above value of tau in equation 1, we can get sigma 3 sin theta equal to sigma sin theta minus sigma 1 minus sigma 3 divided by 2 sin 2 theta, it is replacement of tau, into cos theta. Now we can again write sin 2 theta divided by 2 as sin theta cos theta. So our equation will become sigma 3 sin theta equal to sigma sin theta minus sigma 1 minus sigma 3 into sin theta cos theta into cos theta. So cancelling sin theta from both sides, we will get sigma 3 equal to sigma minus sigma 1 minus sigma 3 cos square theta. So sigma will be equal to sigma 3 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 3, and here cos square theta is replaced by 1 plus cos 2 theta divided by 2. So by further simplifying, we will get sigma equal to sigma 1 plus sigma 3 divided by 2 plus sigma 1 minus sigma 3 divided by 2 into cos 2 theta. So this is the equation to determine the normal stress. So here equation A And equation B gives the stresses on inclined plane AB. This is inclined plane AB, which makes angle theta with the major principal plane. Thank you for watching.